You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. Roll with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lanes. It's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. If we don't play, our wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's OH. Somebody please give this brother an eye. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys and Merry Christmas. Had to get on here, man. Had to tell everybody Merry Christmas. Kind of face to face, you know what I'm saying? Wanted to talk a little Buckeye football, short little show tonight. Maybe if you guys got some questions, put them in the super chats, have a little discussion. Hope everybody had an amazing Christmas. I did. Woke up, spent some time with the family. And since most of my family is Ohio, I got the whole house by myself now. They took off, went to visit the rest of the family in Ohio. So I had to hop on here, man. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well. And let's get this thing rolling, man. Buckeyes, as you see, repping my national champ gear today. Just want to remind people we are the national champs, man. I actually watched the 2014 Ohio State Oregon game last night. It was actually on, I think it was on the Big Ten network last night, and I watched. So it got me pumped up, man. I went and watched some more Miami films, some all 22 films, some other other people that break down film and whatnot, and got me thinking about this game, got some bold predictions as well. So just want to run through a few things, man, because obviously we're playing Miami, right? Actually, before I get doing that, what up, Steely? What up, Daryl? What up, Ed? What up, Sean, Steve, Greggs, Mark, Roll Tide? What's up? What up, everybody? Sometimes what's up, Chuck? Sometimes I dive into things awful fast into the show. I get thinking about what I want to talk about, and I dive in too fast. But what up, Captain F? Captain. That name cracks me up every time, man. Cracks me up. What up, Mike? Yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Johnny, what's up, guys? The Ohio State 1988. What's good, man? What's good? But yeah, so ever since, we're in a weird area where the Buckeyes' last game was a loss to Indiana. Miami's last game was a win against Texas A&M. So I'm going to be honest with you. It put me in a spot where I started to feed into some things I don't quite think are very true, right? Everybody's talking about Miami's defensive line now, just about how amazing they are and good they are at rushing the passer and all that stuff. And I do think they're good, but I think it's getting blown out of proportion. They're in the ACC. Mesidor, 8.5 sacks, Bain, 7.5 sacks, right? So I think that A&M game really gave people a perspective on this Miami team. And I know some people are going to take this as, oh, here he goes. He's acting like Miami's not good. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, after watching, some more film on it, watching a couple games and whatnot, I think maybe it's being stretched a little bit far. That's my first point. My second point is Miami's run game. I think, and their offensive line, it's getting stretched a little bit far as well. Because I'll tell you, that Texas A&M defense, you can think they're good, right? Really good stats, rated really good, but in that Miami game, dude, they did not do very well. They did not cover their gaps good at all. They just made several mistakes that I think made this Miami offensive line and their running offense look way better. But there's another side to that as well. We keep bringing up the Louisville and SMU lost. During that time, Miami had a lot of starters out. So saying all that, Miami is a good football team. They are capable of beating an Ohio State team that comes in and is not prepared. But unfortunately for Miami, I think these Buckeyes are going to come in very prepared. I got a few things written down, just a couple points about what I think these Buckeyes need to do to come in and win this game and win this game comfortably. So, chat, feel free, jump in on this conversation. Just want to talk about it a little bit. On defense, right? We've Mark Fletcher, obviously low scoring Texas A&M game, 10-3. It was a fourth quarter drive by Miami where Mark Fletcher really took off on just running straight up the middle, having long runs, set themselves up for Tony to score that touchdown at the last minute. And that brought about everybody wanting to talk about Miami's offensive line and how good they are and how we got to stop the run and all that. So the first thing I have for us to do on defense, and you can incorporate these into a lot of games, but more specifically, I'll mention a few things as well, and that is making Miami one-dimensional. I think that is very important to do, and here's why. Because Carson Beck, right? Carson Beck being the second most, right, accurate quarterback in the nation. He is also the number one quarterback in the nation for getting the ball out of his hands the fastest. Number one, right? It's easy to be accurate when you're throwing screen passes and quick outs all the time, and that is what they do. That's what they did in the A&M game. That's what they did most. If they tried other things during the season, it didn't quite work out well for them. I mean, they really only have that Malachi Tony guy who is a playmaker, but he got shut down in the A&M game. So, right, you look for our defense to come out, make them one-dimensional. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, shut that run down. And I have the utmost confidence that that is going to happen. We have the number one rush defensive line in the nation and front seven. Caden McDonald, very good in the middle there. And Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles backing him up. Tywan Malone. Their offensive line, they got some pretty big offensive tackles. I think their left tackle's like 6'9" or something like that. Kenyatta Jackson is pretty fast. So I even like our matchups at the defensive end positions against their offensive tackles. I like them. And I like that matchup. I like the ability for our defense to make this a one-dimensional Miami offensive threat. And that dimension is Carson Beck having to beat us with his arm down the field. I forget who. I was listening to another, I think, a Miami guy talking about how fast, right, these passes come out of Carson Beck's hands. And with our secondary that we have, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Patricia comes out very aggressive as far as pressing up because of the quick pass game they like to operate in. So I could see that happening as well. And I think if we do that, it's going to make Carson Beck have to beat us with his arm. And he has shown multiple times this season that he's not capable of doing that. Captain F Nuts, 2.3 seconds is, I believe, Carson Beck's average of getting the ball out, which is fast, which is you're not throwing it down the field if you're doing that. The other thing I have is Miami's offensive line. They are good at one thing. They are good at blocking, four down front, four defensive linemen rushing at you. But in that Texas A&M game, they got a lot of pressure on Carson Beck, and they got a lot of pressure on Carson Beck by exotic blitzes, stunts, and twists, blitzing the linebackers, different things like that. And let me remind you, Buckeye Nation, we do have a certain linebacker who the beginning of the year really was destroying offensive linemen, especially when it came to rushing the passer, and that is Arvell Reese, right? So that's my number 2 thing on the defense. I could see Matt Patricia kind of unleashing Arvell Reese in this game, and that's something I said earlier. I said that in a previous show that I expect this to happen in this game, and I think it's going to be utilized. I think we're going to be able to shut down the run. I think we're going to be able to apply pressure, and the other thing I kind of hit on already a little bit is, right, a playmaker on the outside, the speed playmaker, Malachi Toney, is shutting him down. Texas A&M did a really good job of that. Yeah, he had the touchdown at the end, but Texas A&M did a good job of that. And this Ohio State defense with Matt Patricia, I believe, is going to do a heck of a job doing that as well. So those are my little thoughts on defense that I want to see. Chat, you guys agree with me on that? Do you guys think that we need to add something else to that list? Or do you think we come out, we accomplish those 3 things? It's going to be hard for Miami to score. I do know that. Steve, what's the status on CJ Hicks? Well, CJ Hicks was available for the Big Ten game. He could have played in that game. That's considered a postseason game, and he didn't. I did a show before that thinking, maybe they might utilize him. So I'm going to be honest with you, man. Where I sit now, I don't think we see him, but, I mean, let's be honest. If we do see him, it's going to be a surprise to everybody. I just don't think we do. I think the defense spent all that time learning how to play with each other. Bringing a new player in at this point in time, I think it could upset communication, rhythm, different things like that. So, I don't know. People get fired up about my dip on the show. I apologize for that, guys. Hey, is what it is. It's Christmas, man. I'm chilling. But yes, I will work on that. So yeah, I like this matchup here. I really do. I mean, Carson Beck is not a super athletic quarterback that's gonna be able to beat you a lot with his legs or whatnot. So not a huge issue there. I got a lot of confidence in this defense to come in here, shut down Miami's rushing attack. I mean, Louisville held him to 67 rushing yards, and this defense is a little bit different than Louisville's. So I like that on that part. Let's look in the chat, see if anybody's got anything to say about what I'm minus the dipping that I'm doing. Yeah, guys, if you're in the chat, hit that like button, man. Wanted to hop on here real fast. I know it's Christmas. You guys probably got a lot of stuff going on, but I had to get on here, tell you guys Merry Christmas, and just tell you guys a few thoughts I had going on. Offensively, man, this is the most exciting for me. The most exciting part to talk about is the offensive side of the ball, because Ryan Day is calling plays now. And I do think it's going to make a world of difference. A lot of people are like, hey, man, I'm not sure how I feel about that. He hasn't called plays all season, yada, yada, yada. Dude, he's been involved in the play calling all season. He's not rusty. He's not going to have to shake some things loose here. It's Ryan Day. He's been involved in the game plans the whole time. How much that is, right, is up for debate. People can argue that back and forth all day long. But I like this, man. I think there's some keys with this, right? Dalton brought up something that's just been sticking in my mind ever since that show. And it talked about how good Julian Sayin is when he's getting the ball out at around the 2.5 second mark. Okay. So one of the biggest things in this game, Buckeye Nation, I've heard more people talk about this than anything else, and that is our offensive line protecting Julian Sayin. Okay. Now, what makes that up? It's not just a simple, hey, our offensive line has to block well. Yes, that's a part of it. But the quarterback has got to get rid of the ball. In order for him to get rid of the ball fast, what needs to happen? We need to run the RPO game that we were running all, the Wisconsin game where we ran that. we need to get back to those things, the quick passes, the quick outs to JJ and Carnell Tate that are essentially unstoppable because their DBs, their secondary, big time vulnerable, gave up 365 passing yards to Louisville. And what Louisville did was they sped up the tempo. They sped up the tempo, made them, right, not be able to make as many adjustments as they like to make. Their defensive line likes to run a lot of stunts, a lot of exotic things, a lot of different spacing on the front there, which could confuse offensive linemen, make your offensive linemen get in a bunch of space with quick, fast defensive ends. So, right, there's a lot of things that go. It's not just as simple as, hey, our offensive line is going up against their defensive line. Yes, that's part of it. But the other part of it is what's the overall scheme that Ryan Day wants to attack this Miami defense with? And I like the quick RPO game with some tempo in there as well. We haven't seen the Buckeyes do that a lot, right? We've seen them. We've always assumed that was going to be the case. We've heard Ryan Day talk about, hey, they'll turn up when they need to turn up. It's time to turn up, Ryan Day. It's time to do it. It's time to leash the hounds, and the hounds we do have. So I think it's happened in this game. And the other thing is this offensive line. It's different, man. Gabe Van Sickle is going to end up starting. He'll be coming out is what I'm being told and what I'm predicting as well. So going to have a new right guard. And I'm stoked about that. I really am. I just, listen, maybe you guys are with me on this. Maybe you're not, but maybe, no, I think this might be my number 2 question. If I were to able to, from a football standpoint, this is a good question. Guys in the chat, girls in the chat, women in the chat. If you had the ability to ask Ryan Day one football question, right, related as to, hey, why do you do this? What would it be? My first one would be, hey, why stick with the 13-14 personnel in the red zone? My second one, why keep Tegra in as long as you kept him in? That would be my second question that I would ask him. Because everything my eyes told me with the little knowledge I have gained about the sport of football since doing this and listening to other people, man, every time I watched him and every time I watched either Josh Petty or Gabe Van Sickle come in, it just was better. Things flew better. Things were better. So I was like, okay, man, what am I missing here, right? What do I not know? Because Ryan Day knows more about football than he's forgotten more about football than I'll ever know. I'm not saying anything along those lines, but those are a couple questions I legit want to know because I want to be smarter about the game. I want to be smarter about how you build teams. I don't know. I just get intrigued with that stuff. So I would like to know the reasoning behind that because clearly they felt very strongly about 13-14 personnel and very strongly about Tegra being that starter. So, right, that's one of the questions I would want to ask, but we don't have to ask that question now. Tegra's not going to be starting. New offensive lineman in. I like it. And listen, I started the show off with saying what I said about Miami's defensive line, and I'm standing firm on that. They could prove me wrong, but I think people are overreacting with these great pass rushers and calling their pass rushers the best in the nation. I just do. Miami fans, blow me up in the comment section. I know you're going to, and I could very well eat my words on this. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to prove me wrong. Do I think they are a very good defensive line? I do. Do I think they're as good as what people are talking them up to be? I just don't, man. I don't buy it. I don't. I mean, I just was like, if that's true, where you been all season? If that's true, why don't you have 11, 12 sacks? What am I missing there? Chad, am I wrong there? Or you guys follow me, this Bane stuff that we keep talking about? Wouldn't the stats match up with the way people are talking about these guys? I just feel like they would. I know not everything can be measured in stats, kind of like the Caleb Downs argument, but I feel like defensive end can be measured pretty well in stats. And if you're that good of a defensive line, you're not going to go out and lose some of the games they've lost and deal with some of the issues they've dealt with. But, right, I'm higher on this Buckeye defensive line than I am Miami's defensive line by a pretty good margin. But again, could be proven wrong there. The other thing with this offense, guys, this goes all season long. Any game we play ever, attack the perimeter, man. Take our shots. These DBs, they bail all the time. They play for it. So if you're hitting them with these short RPOs all game, dinking and dunking them down the field, that is going to open up the shots down the field. And, right, with the aggressiveness that Ryan Day showed in the Michigan game, I expect similar things here, right? I don't think we need to come out doing that necessarily, but we need to be taking our shots and let JJ do what JJ does. Let him do what he did in the playoffs last year. And Carnell Tate has elevated his game to, I'm going to be honest, dude, I trust the deep shots to JJ just as much as I do to Carnell, or vice versa. I trust him just as much. Hey, pick one. Right now, if you said, hey, would you rather a deep ball to JJ or Carnell? Dude, I mean, maybe JJ by a slight edge, but it's not much. Where are you guys on that? Like, do you guys think, hey, the deep shot to JJ is way better than a deep shot to Carnell Tate? I'm not quite sure that it is. But you're getting in the argument about the number 1 pick versus the number 10 pick. So it's kind of a wild argument to even stir up, a wild question to even ask, man. So, got to give Julian Sayin at least 2.5 seconds. Got to make sure schematically we are prepared to take those checkdowns, take those dink and ducks, because, right, I know people are going to misunderstand what I said about the defensive line. They will create pressure. They're very good defensive ends. They're going to create pressure, but I got faith in our offensive line. I got faith in Julian Sayin, and I got faith in Ryan Day to scheme around the strength of their defense and attack the weaknesses, because they have them. Louisville found it. SMU found it. Some other teams around the nation found it and were able to score on them. No team in the nation has scored 17 points on this defense. Miami's not about to start. It's not going to happen. And another big thing here, guys, is this is where we kept calling the Indiana game a blessing. I kind of said it yesterday in the show a little bit, but I'll hit on it again. I think this is, now that we got Miami and now that we know the strength of their defense, I think the Indiana loss has turned into an even bigger blessing, right? Because what's probably the number one reason, the number one area, not really number one, number 2 area that caused us the most grief in that Indiana game, and that was pressure on Julian Sayin, 5 sacks, right? That's the strength of this Miami defense, is getting pressure on Julian Sayin. Well, I, for one, am thrilled that he experienced that Indiana game now. I'm, for one, thrilled that the staff now has all that film out there to show the offensive line, to show Julian Sayin, to show these receivers about, hey, here's what you did wrong in this pressure situation, Julian. Because, listen, there were 5 sacks, but there was a lot of open receivers that Julian missed. Every quarterback does it. We hit on that yesterday too. But there were open receivers in those moments. And again, like I said yesterday, what's the first thing we ever heard about Julian Sayin? How fast of a processor he is. What comes with being a fast processor, being a really fast learner. So, man, I love this. I think Julian Sayin is going to take his game to the next level in these playoffs because of that loss. It made him dive into an area of his game that didn't get exposed in any other game, so he had no reason to dive into it, right? It got exposed, and he had a reason to dive into it. He's the fastest processing quarterback in the nation, right? The stats prove that. The completion percentage proves that. So watch out. That's all I got to say, man. Watch out. Last one, got to score in the red zone. We got to score in the red zone. And listen, guys, right? We need to score touchdowns. But if we're 4th in goal and we got 5 yards to go. Yeah, question for the chat. Okay. First drive of the game. It's 4th and goal with 5 yards to go. What do you want Ryan Day to do? Do you want him to kick a field goal or do you want him to go for it? I'm going to pause. Very curious to see your guys' answers. And I'll say this, dude, after the fielding stuff, and I'm probably wrong on this in so many ways. Okay, you guys can critique me, tell me I'm wrong. That's fine, but this is my opinion, and this is how I feel. I don't want to kick any more field goals. I don't want it, bro. I don't want it. I don't want to put us in a position to have to kick a field goal to win the game. I just don't, right? And in order to not put Jaden Fielding in that position later in the game, you got to score touchdowns, man. You got to score touchdowns. We cannot put this on a field goal, right, in the fourth quarter. We just can't do it. I am going to be saying go for it. I'm going to be saying go for it every time. When you get out, I mean, I don't know, man. Even when you get to 4th and 6 and stuff, if you're on the goal line, you know, if you're down there in that red zone, man, I don't know. I like our chances with JJ and Carnell on the outside at this point in time more than I like our chances of kicking a field goal. That's just the truth, you know. Sorry. So, you know, I'm a big opponent of being positive and hope, and you guys know that, but I don't know. Some kickers got it in that moment, some don't. Now, if you told me it's 4th and 5 and you said, hey, Devin, you can bring out the backup kicker and let him kick it, I'm probably going to choose a field goal. Go out there and kick that thing. And listen, I know some people are going to flip out over that, but that's how I feel. Did I just read in the chat that Miami thinks that Malachi Tony is going to cook Caleb Downs? Oh, yeah, dude, they be talking crazy, man. Did you guys know there's some Miami YouTuber out there now saying that JJ Smith made a huge mistake in going to Ohio State. He shouldn't be playing at Ohio State. He would be a much better football player if he came to Miami. He would be utilized correctly and all those things, which is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard, because how do you get better than the number 1 overall draft pick? As a freshman, Ohio State put Julian Saint in a position where if he would have went in last year's draft, somebody tried to tell me, you know, he wouldn't have got taken number 1. He would have been the first wide receiver off the board easy. You know, you don't get, I don't know how you get better than that. You just don't. So, right, defense, we got to make these guys one-dimensional. And I don't think we're going to have a problem doing that, right? Their run schemes that they had success on were not some complicated run schemes. It was up the middle. It was bad, gap coverage by the A&M defensive line that, quite frankly, does not happen on this Ohio State defense. So I think we're going to accomplish that. They don't have the weapons to beat us over the top on this secondary. I like that. We got beat on a couple passes in the Indiana game, so they're going to reel that in for sure. Arvell Reese going to be unleashed a little bit more this game. I want that to happen. I want some pressure to be applied to Beck, because that's when he makes decisions and throws some interceptions, right? And you shut down Tony. That's really the only like speedster threat that I'm super concerned with there. On offense, man, right? Offensive line scheme, Julian saying they all got to work together to get the ball out a little faster, right? Schematically, I trust Ryan Day in that. They're going to look at this film. They're going to see the strength of Miami's defense is rushing the passer. So you got to put Julian Sain in a position to succeed. They're going to do that. And when doing that, Julian Sain's got to make the right read and the right decision. And honestly, I'm more confident in saying he's going to do that now because we lost to Indiana. So I like that there. We got to attack the perimeter with JJ and Carnell. I think that's a given. I don't think there's much into that. We have the advantage in a big way on the perimeter. Dalton did bring up they got a pretty good nickel. They got a pretty good freshman safety in Fitzgerald, but we have J.J. Smith and Cornell Tate, so that's all there is there. And we got to score in the red zone. We got to be aggressive in the red zone, which we've already told you guys. Ryan Day is diminishing the 13-14 personnel. I think I know that's finally clicked with him. You might see it ran a couple times. If you do, I highly suspect that you will see something out of that formation that you have not seen all year, because everybody wants to bring up the Rams and how they utilize it. They do it in such a different way. Ohio State all year long has been so predictable when they run 13-14 personnel. There's only very few plays they run out of it, very few things that they do. If you clog the middle up, you're going to win. And watch out, Bennett Christian might leak out for a pass one time, which, right, Indiana was hip to it every single time we ran it. So if you do see it, I suspect that we're going to see some pretty different, maybe wider spreads out of that, instead of putting us in a box in a phone booth where we have not been successful. So, all right, y'all. Anything you guys disagree with me there? Anything to add to that? Now is the time to do that. I did write down some good, fun, bold predictions. You guys can join me in that, but let me check the chat out. Appreciate you guys with the super chats, man. I see them stacking up here. I'll get to those in a minute. Just a reminder, man, super chats on both channels go to help out veterans and people in need, right? 100% of the proceeds do. They get given back. So any super chat you guys give. And on the Buckeye Boys channel, all your views, all your likes, all your subscriptions, we get on the Buckeye Boys channel, any money that comes in from that gets poured back into the channel. Just had a $50 trivia winner. Terry, got that sent to Terry the other day. So, yeah, it all gets put back out. So all you guys support there, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to me on Scoop, go over to my Buckeye Boys channel, Buckeye Boys with the Z. Subscribe over there. Like over there. I know it's a little different streaming on 2 channels here, but that's just where we're at in life. It's what we're doing. You guys have been great with showing support to that Buckeye Boys channel as well. So I appreciate you guys doing that as well. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcast via Scoop, hit the like, man. Hit the subscribe. Free, fast, easy. Shows support to us, man. We appreciate that. And if you're not part of the Scoop message board, you need to do it. You need to do it. Here we go, guys. Tomorrow, I can't either. I can't wait for this game. I keep saying I'm going to the game. I am going to the game, but I hate saying it because I don't want to feel like I'm rubbing it in. I promise you I'm not. I promise you I'll be live streaming, trying to let you guys, for those of you guys that aren't able to make it, give you guys the best feel I can. Don't turn on College Game Day. Don't do that. Boom. Come to the Buckeye Boys channel. I will be live streaming from the parents' tailgate. So it's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Going to be a great time. Sean, great question, man. Real good question. I wanted to say Altmaier from Illinois, but I think Altmaier is a little bit better than he is. But I think, to me, right off bat anyway, that might be the closest comparison that I have. And somebody in the chat can speak up. Maybe I'm way off there, but just off the dome, off the top of my head, real fast. That's just the first name that popped in my head. But, I'm telling you, Miami does not trust Carson Beck. They don't. With the way they run their offense, with the quick runs, quick slants, and all that. Yeah, Chris, Illinois QB. Looks like he was on the same page. Yeah, Steely, that's what I'm saying. He is a better passer. But, dude, just from the play calling, the passing offense that they have, you can see that Miami doesn't put a lot of faith in Carson Beck because, boy, when he's off, he is off. Am I on mute? Don't tell me I've been on mute this whole time. Steve's telling me I'm on mute. You guys can hear me, right? What happened? Did I mute myself for a second or something like that? Huh. Steve, are you sure I was on mute? Hopefully I'm not now. Okay. We're all good now. All right, cool. Steve trying to get me. No, I'm just joking. All right, guys. Bold prediction. Caden Curry, 2 sacks, 1 forced, 1 fumble recovery. I like the matchups with their tackles on both ends. Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry. Big old tackles. Good in the run game, but you get them out in space. I think I like the advantage. I like Curry and his nonstop motor. I think he gets 2 sacks and 1 fumble recovery. Downs. I think Caleb Downs gets a sack, and I think Caleb Downs gets 2 interceptions. Caleb Downs with the sack and 2 interceptions this game, kind of putting that's going to be a result of Matty P putting Carson Beck in a blender. So JJ, 2 touchdowns and 137 yards reception. I think that's what's going to happen there. Bo Jackson will have a touchdown in this game. He will also have 115 rushing yards with 50 receiving yards. So 165 total yards of offense by Bo Jackson. He will be getting a lot of checkdowns thrown his way. He will be utilized in the pass game. I think that's an area that will be attacked. I didn't put Max Clare in this, but I think keep an eye there. Those short dink-dunk passes with Bo Jackson and Max Clare, I think are going to be open a lot. I just do. Even given the good nickel that they have, I have a sneaking suspicion they might do some cloud coverage or sneak some people over on JJ's way there, given that they know a lot about him. Carnell Tate, 100 yards receiving as well. Okay, so they're going to utilize both our receivers this game. In the first half, going to be opening the field up. In the second half, Bo Jackson's really going to take off. Arvell Reese, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. It's very specific. Arvell Reese is going to force the fumble. Caden Curry is going to pick it up. Okay, that's what's going to happen. I got Sonny Styles with an interception as well. I got Carson Beck throwing 3 interceptions. I have this defense causing 4 turnovers, 1 fumble, and 3 interceptions. And that's it. That's all I got. That's all I got with my bold predictions, guys. My bold predictions, I wouldn't say are the boldest. They're more like realistic predictions. But still, that's what I got. All right. Let's see what we got going on. Loud and clear. Good. Yeah, Curry's getting very popular. Downs with the sack. Lorenzo Styles with the pick. I would like to see that, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. They're gonna pick on Lorenzo Styles. That's where they're gonna attack the field at, up the middle. There's gut shots to Lorenzo Styles. They're gonna put Malachi Toney in the slot. And they're going to try to get him up against Lorenzo Styles because they feel they have the advantage there, because several other teams have done that this year and they have had success. It's one of the few areas of success that teams have had on us. But I expect Lorenzo Styles to be ready. And I expect because of that, Matty P is going to disguise a coverage where they think they got Lorenzo burnt, and in comes Caleb Downs with the interception. What up, Daryl? Miami fan in here. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you joining the show. I'm sure you didn't like many things that I said, but, bro, it's playoff time, man. I'm not holding back. I'll give you guys your props where props are due. This is not going to be a cakewalk for Ohio State whatsoever. I don't think it's going to be at all. We got to show up. If we don't show up, this Miami team, bro, they're pretty good. Pretty good team here. Is it crazy if I say I think this Miami game would be a harder game than if we played Indiana again? Would that be crazy to say? I didn't say it. I asked if that would be crazy to say. I just want to remember that. Our defense hasn't allowed 17 points or more in 13 games. Last team to do so was 1935. Yeah. Yes, we do. This defense is what's going to win us the national title, man. We're going to bench Fielding. Ooh, okay. I see. I think Sand goes for over 300 passing yards, which will be the most all season. So that's what I think he does. Yeah, the backup kicker Corvell. Yeah, Chris. I just think I think the red zone offense looks different this game because it has to. There's not an option. We lost the Indiana game because of that. So that's another area where this loss to Indiana was a blessing because it's going to force the coach's hand. There is no way Ryan Day comes out with the same philosophy in the red zone. We know that's not going to happen. Beck will fumble more than picks thrown. Our defensive line is better than theirs. I'll take that as well. Yeah, man. Dude, Riley's stoked. I already know Riley is lit up, dude. He's ready to play. For sure. Yeah, 3 interceptions is a tall order. For sure. Yeah. Well, it's called bold predictions, man. Definitely a tall order, but having a little fun with those. Doable. This defense, yeah, we ain't no ACC team, I'll tell you that. And we're definitely not Texas A&M. We're definitely not Texas A&M. I said all year long I just was not buying into the Texas A&M stuff. This is nothing new. I'm not all of a sudden saying this. I said I would rather play Texas A&M, and I stand on that. I would have rather played Texas A&M. I feel like we would have had a bigger advantage against Texas A&M. I just did not buy into them at all. I did not buy into Reed at all. Their defense, none of it. I just didn't. Good team, yeah, but number 3 team in the nation, not even close. I did not think so. Very bold. That's right. All right, here we go. Super chats, y'all. Appreciate you guys. Steely, what up, brother? Thanks for the $1.99. Merry Christmas, Scoop family. Absolutely Merry Christmas. Russ, dang, man, thank you so much for the $4.99. I got your text. I will make sure it gets where it needs to go. $49.99, 2-teen challenge, a 12-month faith-based discipleship program that helps people that are struggling with any life-controlling issues, mainly drug addiction, through the power of Jesus Christ. The program absolutely radically saved my life. It was a tool that Jesus used, and I am forever thankful, forever grateful for that place. I support them every year, and now you guys have the ability to do that as well, and some of you do. Russ, thank you so much for that, brother. Hey, listen, right? The only super chats that I can make go where I tell you they're going to go is the Buckeye Boys channel, because that's my channel. The Scoop channel, us as a team, it all goes to the veterans. It goes to pay it forward. That's where that goes. So there's a difference, Russ. I can't tell where you guys are chatting from in the chat. Both chats are just combined in mine. Russ, I'm assuming you're on the Buckeye Boys channel. What up, B? Dude, I wish so bad, B, you were coming to this game with us. So bad, bro. But we'll make it happen. Next year, we'll all get to a game. Thanks for the $5, brother. I like that picture, dude. I like that jacket, bro. You got an Ohio State B. Moses jacket? I'm jealous, dude. I got to get me an Ohio State Buckeye Boys jacket. I'm jealous now. Is that real? B, you really got that jacket? I like it. Dev, great job per usual. Thank you, my dude. Give me Tate on the deep ball. Miami fans sleeping on Tate, focusing on JJ. Yeah, that would be a mistake. That would be a big mistake for them to sleep on Cornell Tate. He's being mocked. Some people have him as a top 5 draft pick. Just to B, that's an edit. Yeah, dude, you got me. You got me, bro. You got me, dude. But you gave me an idea, though. Yeah, you gave me an idea. Sean, thanks for the $20, man. Respect to all the veterans. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah, guys. I mean, I don't know. For me, like every once in a while, I just take the time to to sit and truly think about what veterans go through for us, right? The things that they give us in this country, because bro, life moves. So if we have so much of our own stuff going on, you guys have so much of your own things going on in your life that, dude, it's hard to actually sit and think about what veterans really do for us. It is. I mean, it's normally a fleeting thought of just saying, oh yeah, hey, thank veterans. We appreciate what you've done. When you do appreciate them, but I encourage you guys, stop and take 10 minutes out of your day and really think about what they do, what their families go through, what they go through physically, what they go through mentally, all those things, man. And it'll really make you realize, hey, these guys deserve all the love they get and then some. Russ, appreciate you again, bro. You did not have to do that, man. I could have hollered at somebody. We'd have made it work out. But thanks for the 50 again, Russ. Golly, bro. Thanks for doing this, Dev. For sure, man. I'm all about giving back, bro. You got to love God, love your neighbors, man. I'm telling you, that's the biggest. Becoming a believer. If you were to say, Devin, hey, what's the number one like actual thing that you did in your life, right? Like that took actual physical work to actually go out and do that changed your life the most. And that's putting other people before me, going and physically helping other people, actually going and doing things, man. It changed listen, guys, I watched that Redemption show on Prime. It's a must. If you are a Buckeye fan and you have not watched Redemption, it brought me to tears. You gotta watch it, man. And Travion Henderson talked about no. G Scott. Dude, I messaged G. I messaged his dad too. I think I'm gonna get him on the show, which will be great. But he talked about his wants changing, his desires change. And that's what happens. Like when I first started helping other people, we're born selfish. We're in a selfish world. So it's like, I don't fault anybody for being that way. Sin is selfish. We are selfish people, right? We're in the flesh. That's what we are. This world, everything about this world trains us to be selfish. Everything about it, right? That's why following Jesus is so hard and so different, because you're putting yourself down that ladder more, and nobody does that. So as you're helping other people, you feel like you're falling behind because everybody else putting themselves first. But right, that's where God's timings and God's blessings. That's why he says, no eyes see, no ears heard, because we can't comprehend that. We're not capable of imagining and seeing his plan, because he operates in infinity. He operates in forever. We just can't comprehend that. Boy, I'm going on a sermon right now. I apologize for that. But what was I saying? But yeah, it's doing those things, helping other people, like slowly now, it has changed my desires. Like it's a desire I have now to try my best to give people that hope and that peace that God gave me, because I remember just thinking it was impossible. Like thinking there's no way I'm coming out of this. There's no way I'll be happy one day. There's no way I can find peace. There's no way I'll be on the other end of this. But the only reason I sit here today is because of other believers, because of other people that put me before themselves, that got up at 3:00 in the morning and came and picked me up from a hotel room where I was going to commit suicide. But no, they knocked on my door and intervened. And that's when I realized Jesus was real, through other people, guys. So it's just like, man, helping other people, dude, it'll change your life. It will change your life for the better. It won't give you those immediate results that you want, that the world tells you need. But, dude, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. But I know I went way off there. But Holy Spirit does that from time to time. But, back-to-back natties, first time in program history. We on the way, baby. We on the way. I think we're set up beautiful for it. I think we're set up really well. I think just like last year, the loss to Oregon and the loss to Michigan pole vaulted us into that national title. The Indiana game didn't have that big of a hurt, and this is a younger team, so it's going to take a little bit different drive. It's going to take, I mean, when you guys watch Redemption, you'll understand why we won the national title last year. It's because of G. Scott, Travion Henderson, Emeka Buka, JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer. That leadership we had, bro, that's the number one reason we won the title last year. So it's going to come down to those guys. Who are those leaders in the locker room now, right? The Luke Montgomerys, the Austin Saravelds, the K-Max, the Kenyatta Jacksons, the Caden Currys. Are they going to be able to help these younger guys, these younger players see their vision and learn the things that they have learned through heartache throughout all their losses they've experienced at Ohio State? Some of these guys on the team are experienced their first loss ever as a Buckeye. So got to get everybody on the same page. Luckily, right, the blueprint is very fresh on their mind from last year for the players and for the coaching staff. So I don't think there's a team in this playoff bracket that wants to see the Buckeyes. And Miami might say all day long that, hey, we're going to beat the Buckeyes. But I bet you if they had to choose between all the other teams left in this bracket, the Buckeyes would be their last choice. They would be their last choice. And there are several talking heads that say out of the 4 games that are going to be played now, they see this one being the easiest. I don't agree with that, but some people say that they see Ohio State handing it to Miami pretty easily. I don't. I have the score being 24-13 in kind of a closer game that Ohio State puts away in the fourth quarter. I hope it goes differently than that, but I just got, because of some of the fans, I don't want to say this, but I got some respect for Miami, a little more than I feel like most Buckeye fans do. I don't know, man. I just think they're pretty hungry, bro. I mean, they weren't even supposed to get in. So they're going to be hungry. They're going to be hungry. So we got to be prepared. But Ryan Day is good at getting these guys up. Coach Walt in there as well. Matty P. I got some faith, guys. So, all right, y'all. I think I hit. Oh, Steely, did you do this again? Oh, thanks for $1.99 again. Yeah, he said Merry Christmas, Buckeye Boys family. There we go. Got the scoop and the Buckeye Boys fam. I love it, man. Hey, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on Christmas Day. Kind of a show on the whim, but I enjoyed it. Had a great time. Let's see, I'm leaving on Tuesday, I think. I'll probably hop back on again before I leave and just chat it up. Most likely it's going to happen. But we'll see. You guys want me? I get there Tuesday, pretty early on Tuesday. If you guys want the day before the game, I'll hop on live, walk around the stadium, give you guys a view of the outside of the stadium, maybe a quick 10, 15-minute show. If you guys want me to do that, put it in the chat. I'll do it for you guys. But then game day, I'll literally be at the stadium at noon. So I'll be helping them set up the tailgate like I did last year, and probably come on 3 or 4 hours before the game. So hit that alert bell, guys. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, like you guys been killing it with doing on both channels. But that'll do it, guys. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. Hope you guys had an amazing time with your family, man. They're not going to be around forever. So relish those moments, man. Have a great time. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.